Hi everyone. Today I wanted to talk about how I teach students about library book information. So I usually do this lesson pretty well right at the beginning of September before I even talk about destiny. So the first thing that I end up going through is what is happening on all of our books. So I point out the front cover, the back cover, and the spine to the students. So looking at the front cover here, I point out the barcode, which are always on the top left-hand corner. And these are our school barcodes. So I explain to them that this is how we check books in and out, and we know who has what book. Then at the back of the book, I point out the ISBN, and this is the barcode that is scanned when you go to purchase the book. And then lastly, I talk about the spine. And on the spine, I say that there's a lot of information here sometimes. First and foremost, we do have the spine label, which has the call number on it. And then in this example, we do have this book as a battle book. And then oftentimes we have other identifying labels, such as if it's a Canadian author, etc. So we talk about what these book codes then mean. So in our library, we have three: Fic, GN, and E. So Fic is general fiction, which includes novels and chapter books. GN for graphic novel, and E we consider everybody reads, so like the picture books. Nonfiction, I explained that it's a combination of letters and numbers. So if they see something like 613.5 JOH, this means that it is a nonfiction book. And I explain all about nonfiction in separate lessons. So the first one I touch on is the fiction books. So I like to use the one and only Bob for this. So I explain to students that this is a fiction book by Catherine Applegate, and they're going to notice that the call number comes from Fic, meaning fiction book, and then the first three letters of the author's last name. So Applegate, which turns out to be APP then. Then I have them practice in their table groups with another book. So Invitation to the Game by Monica Hughes, I explain that it's a fiction book, and I ask them what would the call number be. So usually at this point, there's a couple students who kind of catch on, and they start identifying Fic, HUG. Typically, I do try and choose some last names that end up spelling something out, like this one does for hug. And that usually kind of generates some conversation amongst the students. Then I have another practice, so Oculum by Philippa Dowding. Once again, fiction book. And at this point, it seems like more students do end up catching on, and then Fic Dow for that. I then move on to the graphic novels, and I just like to show them a picture of what they look like on the shelf. So once again, that spine label with the call number, the identifiers of the graphic novels as well. So this one we talk about Big Nate, a popular graphic novel. I highlight the G and the N in graphic novel, and then the first three letters of the author's last name, and in this case it spells out PEI. So once again, we practice, this time with Narwhal, so graphic novel by Ben Clanton. And once again, a few students catch on. And then as we go on for more practice, like with Roller Girl, a whole lot more do catch on as well. So in this case, once again, trying to choose spine labels or call numbers that generate some either laughter or interest. So in this one, GN, jam. They do like to say that and see what they spell out. Picture books, I explain, can be something that is a little bit more challenging, sometimes because we forget what the E means. And E, again, I remind them, is an everybody reads book, and picture books can be enjoyed by absolutely everybody. So in this case, we have Jabari Jumps, and its call number is ECOR. And what we have then is two more practices. So I do this with Apple Cake and have them identify it, and then We Don't Eat Our Classmates. So I do use this opportunity to highlight some books that, again, generate a little bit of interest, maybe books that are popular. So they kind of even have a starting off point for, finding the shelves. I often find that there are some students who hang back and ask, hey, what was that book that you talked about? Do we have it? Is it in? So another great opportunity to showcase some great books. And then at the end of this lesson, I just kind of leave it short and sweet. This is just kind of what the point that I want to drive home is those book codes, right? So what does FIC mean, G, N, and E? And then just realizing that nonfiction spine labels do have a call number that involves numbers and letters. So that's pretty well where I end up leaving the lesson. And then the following day, I'll end up jumping into Destiny so that when they search up a book and they see this call, the call number of, GN so and so, they're able to actually go to the shelves and find it. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment or contact me on Instagram. Thanks so much.